the good news in Ukraine, because it's got to be good news for everybody if we don't have fighting there, it will take some of the pressure out of oil. But as we just saw, we have a lot of inflation in the system. And, the central bankers are way behind if they actually intend to get it out of the system. And that's going to take a lot of rate rises. It's going to take pain. That's what it takes to remove inflation from the system.
And you're talking global inflation. So we look at it as all politics are local. So we look at it over here and think that, that we've done some things in the United States causing it. But a lot of it has to do with the pandemic and supply chain issues and labor issues that are really global based on COVID.
Yes, there's a bunch of things in the supply chain, but it's not clear how long it takes the supply chains to get back to normal. But the reality is whatever started it, and I think you're right, it was supply chain, it's now got into the psychology. So I'm old enough that I did an economics degree back the last time we had inflation in the 80s, in the early 80s. And once you get inflation into people's expectations, people start asking for it in wage increases. It's then really hard to get it out of the system. And feels to me like everywhere you go, people in the job market are looking for higher wages, and that drives inflation going forward.
Do you think that that accommodative monetary policies and low interest rates and negative yields all over the world, do you think all of that has added to inflation, Luke?
Yes. I mean, I think uncontrovertibly over time it has. The thing is, we know we've been going through a period of extraordinary monetary policy. It's been an interesting experiment, and now we're finding out what happens when the experiment ends. And, the question is whether central banks really have the psychology to pivot hard. They've been so loose with monetary policy for such a long time. If they want to get rid of inflation, they're going to have to be aggressive. You saw Ballard the other day on your show was, he's clearly pushing for significant moves, but even 100 basis points, we should be clear, gets us to a 1.5% type of rate. It's really not that much in the economy. I think it's going to take much more than that if you actually want to take inflation out of the system.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.